Hi, welcome to this channel. Today we will be playing the Great Treasure Hunt, Solve the Mystery. This is a hidden object puzzle adventure game with a great story where you have to find all these objects in each level to progress further. We'll be going through chapter 1 of the game and I am really excited to start playing it with you guys. So let's get right into it. As soon as we open up the game, we are met with this intro cinematic which tells us a little bit about the story of the game. You play as William Shatner, who has just got back from an archaeological dig when suddenly your friend and partner Professor Loomis calls you and asks you to come over to his mansion right away because he needs your help. And so here we are. As soon as we reach the mansion, the game throws us into this cutscene where we meet Professor Loomis, who was really excited for our arrival. He takes us into his secret laboratory. He tells us that he's been excavating some ancient ruins and discovered these statues and other things like that. And he wants us to take a look at them because he thinks that they might be connected to each other. He then leaves us alone in the room to explore, and as soon as he does, this pop-up box appears telling us that we need to find the hidden items in order to progress further in the game. There are 3 different statues in the room and we can interact with each of them. When we do, it reveals a symbol that is carved onto the statue. On the desk next to it, there's also an empty pedestal and this is what we need to put the symbols on. Now if we look around the room, we can see that there are actually 2 more pedestals on the far side of the lab, and we need to put the correct symbol onto each of the pedestals in order to unlock the safe that is in the corner of the room. To start off, we'll head over to the statue of the male figure, and when we interact with it, we get this pop-up box which shows us the symbol that we are looking for and we have to find somewhere in the room. In the top left corner, there is a shelf with some books on it, and when we click on it, it opens up and we can see that the item that we are looking for, the sun disk, is on the far left-hand side of the shelf and we can click on it to pick it up. As soon as we do, the symbol on the statue lights up. Now we need to place the item onto the empty pedestal next to it. We can then move on to the female statue in the middle of the 3, and when we click on it, it gives us another item to find somewhere in the room, and this time it is a magic wand. If we look above the door, we can see that there is a chandelier, and underneath the chandelier there is a curtain, and when we click on it, it opens up and we can see that the magic wand is hanging behind it. We click on it and grab it and we can now place it on the pedestal. Now the only statue left is the one on the far right, and when we click on it, we are given another item to find, but this time it is split into 2 parts. It's the Eye of Ra and we need to find both halves. The first half is in plain sight. It is actually sitting on the pedestal right next to the statue, but the second part isn't here in this room. To find it, we have to go through this doorway and it takes us into the next area. Here we see another statue of the Eye of Ra and we need to click on it to reveal where the second half of the artifact is. It's on the table next to it. We can pick it up and place it onto the pedestal, and once we do, the pedestal lights up and we've successfully placed all 3 artifacts. This means that we can now move on to the safe in the corner of the room. We click on it and it opens up. Inside we find a diary and we can pick it up. The diary is locked and we need to find its key in order to read it. It looks like the key is hiding behind some books on a shelf, and when we click on it, it reveals the key and we can pick it up. Now we can use the key to unlock the diary, and inside it we find a letter which tells us a bit more about the story. After reading the diary, it looks like Professor Loomis has returned to the room. And he is very happy to see that we found all of the artifacts and he thanks us for our help. He then tells us that he found this amulet during his excavations and he believes that it may hold some sort of power. He puts it around his neck and immediately begins to glow and the room starts shaking. He runs out of the room and we have to chase after him to find out what is going on. And this is where the first chapter ends. I thought the first chapter went by pretty fast. I didn't expect the game to already be ending, but apparently it is already the end of chapter 1. So now we'll be moving on to chapter 2. We'll begin the chapter outside the mansion and we can click on the gate to open it up and enter the grounds of the property. Our goal here is to find 5 scattered pages which will hopefully lead us to the next part of the mystery. The pages are hidden all around the garden and they aren't too hard to find. They're all fairly close together. Once we have all 5 pages in our inventory, we can click on them and it opens them up and we can read them. It turns out that they are instructions on how to open up the portal that the professor opened up earlier in the game. To open up the portal again, we are going to need a magical staff and the pages tell us exactly where we can find it. The staff is located in the ruins of an old castle not too far from the house and we can click on it to enter the ruins. Inside the castle ruins, there are a lot of pillars and statues and the pop-up boxes appear telling us that we have to click on each one to activate it. When we do, each pillar lights up and creates a beam of light which shoots up towards the sky. With every pillar that we activate, the chances of finding the staff become greater. But even with all 6 activated, the staff still isn't here. What we have to do now is head over to the altar and when we do, the staff spawns in and we can pick it up. We now have everything that we need to reopen the portal and we can head back to the garden to do so. When we get back, we can click on the portal and it opens up and we can step through. This takes us into the next area. The portal closes behind us and we find ourselves in a completely different world. We can walk forward and trigger this cutscene where the professor runs over to us and tells us that we made it. It looks like the world that we have entered is completely covered in snow and ice and the professor tells us that we are now in the northern wastes. He then tells us to wait here while he goes ahead and explores the area. He disappears into the snow and we have to wait until he comes back to us. While we wait, we can look around the area and we can see that there are lots of statues of the Ice Phoenix scattered everywhere. We can click on one of them and it tells us a little bit more about it. Apparently, the locals believe that the Ice Phoenix is a god and they built these statues in its likeness. After a few seconds, the professor returns and tells us that he has good news. He says that he found a village nearby and we can head there to see if we can find anyone who can help us. And with that, the second chapter comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed watching me play the Great Treasure Hunt, solve the mystery. If you did, please leave a like rating on this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.